So my marriage is ending and I'm truly devastated. I knew it was coming, but I was in denial. So I was used for a green card. Long story. So my marriage is ending and I'm truly devastated. I knew it was coming, but I was in denial. So I was used for a green card. Long story short, I was used for a green card by a man from Nicaragua who did come here legally, but he needed a green card super seriously bad. And he had been through a series of failed relationships that he chalked up to just incompatibility. But what it was those women could not give him what he needed. But he found in me a safe, secure, loving woman who was willing to do anything to be loved.
First of all, if someone needs a green card desperately, that's all they're after. They're not after you or anyone else. They want that green card. She said desperately. That's their intention, the green card.
So he loved bombed the crap out of me, and I ate it up. And it just knew in the back of my mind, this doesn't feel right, but it felt good. It didn't feel right, but it felt good. So he loved bomb me. He paid a bunch of my bills. He bought a new car. He traded his green card for material possessions. And looking back, and that's just so sweet of him, right? That's just so great of him. I thought we were building a life. I thought we were building assets and building a life and enjoying a good life. But that was not the case. What he was actually doing was going, you got me this green card. I will give you these little trinkets and then I'm going to leave you. He never intended to stay. Once he got his green card, 3 years after we got married. He proposed to me like 2 days after we married practically, and then blasted all over social media, which was the last time he blasted me all over social media. But I spent 6 years posting about him. He's so great. He's so wonderful. He's so hardworking. He's working for our future. My man, my man, my man. He never did that for me. He never posted about me. He refused. Even when I asked him, he said, I will not do that.
Now, I love my wife immensely, but I don't post about her. I'm old school. I grew up in an era where there was no social media. I don't need to post about my wife to show my love to her.
That makes me uncomfortable, he said. I said, but you did it in the beginning. Well, after he got me, he didn't have to purchase me anymore. I mean, once he had me married, he didn't have to do anything. So, the stuff that he did for me started to kind of dwindle. The first 3 years, he started a lot of cruelty, a lot of snide comments. He would use my emotional vulnerabilities against me. I would spiral for days and then go apologize to him for the cruelty that he inflicted on me. That was our 7 to 10 day cycle for years. But by year 3, once he got his green card, things got even worse. I mean, we're talking about fights where he would just shut down, stonewall me, totally gaslight me, and I would spiral, go back to him, apologize for the way he treated me, rinse, lather, repeat. So our last fight, he just said, I'm moving out. And he did. It was over his infidelity. And so he just couldn't take that accountability because he couldn't bear to be the villain in his own story. So not only did he use me for a green card, he was dismissive, avoidant, narcissistic, whatever you want to call it, that he did all the things. Okay. He fit all the boxes and I was in complete denial for 6 years. So he said, I'm moving out. So I was like, I'd had it. So he's gone.
Now, this is just my opinion. Okay, he gets a green card, and then he stays with her for 6 years. When you get a green card, when you use someone to get a green card, and once you're over here in the States, you don't stay with them for 6 years. Your whole intention and motive was the green card. Then you move on. You I hate to say it, they dump you, and then they move on. They're in America. Why would they stay with you for 6 years? To me, it sounds like a typical, unhealthy, bad relationship. And then he left. We don't know the whole story. We don't know whose fault, but you never abuse someone verbally and all that, And women, please stop apologizing when it's not your fault, when it's the man's fault and you go back and apologize. What does that do? They're going to do it again. They're like, wow. She didn't ask me for an apology. She just said, I'm sorry that you did these things. It's my fault. It's not your fault. Stop apologizing for something you didn't do. If this man used you for a green card, man, he went 6 years. He could have left a long time ago. It was an unhealthy relationship, in my opinion. You guys in the comments, tell me what you think. Did he use it for a green card, or was he just a bad dude that she just hooked up with a bad guy, and which elevated to an unhealthy relationship?
And he's not coming back, right? So, of course, a few times I have reached out begging for him to come back because I am that pitiful. And now I'm realizing that's horrible for me. I should be moving on with my life. So I am. I have amped up my therapy. I've amped up support groups. I have secured a deposit on another apartment. I'm moving on. Like I'm moving. I'm doing all the divorce logistics. Okay, all of them. But yeah, that does not erase the pain. Like I can find a new apartment, and I can change bank accounts, and I can do all of the things, right? What I can't do is drive down the street and see a restaurant that we went to every week. What I can't do is go down to the square where we always used to go walking. What I can't do is hear a song that we would listen to together. What I can't do is even sit on our sofa where we would watch all of our shows. What I can't do is even be in the living room where I fell in love with him. I can't do any of those things. That pain of not just being rejected at the end of the relationship, we didn't just grow apart. He used me for 6 years and never intended to stay. He never intended to stay. And that's what hurts the most. He took 6 years of my life.
So obviously this woman loved this gentleman, or she loved this guy. But not being able to go to certain places, not being able to sit on your sofa, not being able to do this and that, you got to move past that. I know it's hard. You got to move past it, or you're never gonna have a healthy relationship. When the right person comes along, you're always going to be looking back. You're always going to be thinking this is going to happen again. You're always going to be, so in love, and it didn't work out. You got to put it back behind you, and you got to forgive him. When you forgive him, you'll feel a lot better. You will. You'll feel a lot better, and then you can move on eventually to a healthy relationship. But this guy was, his intentions was no good. I actually knew a guy that found a woman in another country, and he would go there and visit, and the woman would come here, and she got her green card, and then she left him right away. See, it doesn't take long. This guy might have had some genuine feelings for you, but he just wasn't a good guy, and he just mistreated you, and then and then it ended in 6 years. But you got to move on. It's sad that you think that you can't go to places, and you can't sit on your sofa, and you can't listen to certain music. That's sad. But you got to get past it. You got to try to get past it. Continue with your therapy, because it might lead to things you don't want it to lead to, and you're not going to have a healthy relationship from that point on ever again. Hopefully you do, but you got to get past that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you subscribe, and give me your thoughts in the comments. What you think? Did she get used for a green card, or did it just was an unhealthy marriage? Let me know what you think, and like and share. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
And just wasted them. Not for him, but for me. So I'm having to move past that. And that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to do.